you should know that by being a racing driver, you are under risks all the time. By being a racing driver means you are racing with other people. And if you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver. Because we are competing to win. And the main motivation for all of us is to compete for a victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to RaceFace.Pro IndyCar Round 1 here at Indianapolis. And, gotta say, absolutely loving it here tonight because we're in for a huge amount of fun. First time that we're going to be having Indy cars here at RaceFace.Pro. We've had the F4s, we've had phenomenal single-seaters. Well, now we're into some of the fastest in the world racing here tonight, and that is our Indy cars because, man oh man, we are in for so much fun. It's not even a joke at this point. So, we're at Indianapolis and qualifying is underway for our drivers. And so far, we've got quite a few out there. We have got Luka Logovic, who is making his way around the track. He's trying to improve his qualifying times and looking to really put it onto the ball. Noah Hendricks, hoping that he can get a little bit more forward and up towards the top. Doug Herber of Team Triad Orange. Gareth Ritz is also looking that he can go and battle there out. And a couple of people are going and saying this is going to be a bit of an interesting one. Sir Lag's actually giving some insight. I'm starting to really enjoy slowpoke racing. I really am, because taking the same thing you would see generally with the world of Top Gear, or a bit of a homage to those of Top Gear, and we've got to always, I mean, I've got to talk about it. So some people reckon they are some form of cult who love watching paint dry. Others think they may have touched too many electric fences, but I know them as slowpoke racing. Sir Lag's going and putting that out there. Oh man, absolutely love to see it. So, as we take a look through the order, Luka Logovic able to put in the fastest lap time of the race, hoping to gain a bit more time as he will try and push himself that a little bit more. And our lap times starting to roll in for the moment. So now we have got Leighton Ferree. For those that are not quite sure about Leighton Ferree, well, get ready to know the name. Leighton Ferree, a top contender here in South Africa, and also done South Africa extremely proud. It's actually an honor to have Leighton Ferree coming and racing with us. Quite a few of our top drivers looking to have a bit of fun with us and be part of it. So it's always great to see it across the world, and Leighton Ferree giving up some of his time to come and enjoy on a Tuesday evening. Luka Logovic going to use his Power Wheels Racing to charge across the line. He's running in second place at the moment. Then we have got Willem Buerta, who is part of the IDSA Esports on the way through, trying to get a little bit more of a climb up. And Gerald Ferree running in fourth place. Fifth, Malcolm Pringle. Alex Moore in sixth. Timothy Stanton running in seventh. Gareth Britz running in eighth. Brandon Roberts in ninth. Roland Ferreira in 10th. Werner Swart, followed by Luke Leclerc, Noah Hendricks, Jan van Rensburg. Jeez, I couldn't get that one right. He's going and having a bit of fun out in the IndyCar. The vessels of Slowpoke Racing, followed by Stephen Kutzer, Robbie Teens stepping out and having a bit of fun out there. Jeff Hancock, Vanon Kursop, Dino Maichie, going and coming through. Dino, a new name that has popped up on the grid. Looking forward to seeing what he can do. Doug Herber trying to make his way up through the order. Raymond Duggan of Rad Racing, followed by Tennis Buchita. Also looking to put on the great charge. Paul Webber running a little bit further back in the Batman livery, because you can never go wrong with Batman. Peter van der Spey, the captain, going and showing off what he can do, and the captain sporting the Captain Morgan's livery. Gotta say, really, really nice to see. Sean Sims running, needing to get a time on the board, but we do see Peter Meyer, part of the Omnius Gaming, going and making a bit of time. Peter Meyer transitioning over from the world of Assetto Corsa Competizione to the world of iRacing. Good to see that he's on that great charge. Etienne Swart running towards the back, and Johan Ferrari looking to try and put a time on the board as it stands. So all the drivers looking to try and get a little bit more times on board, going and fighting their way through, seeing who can get to the top of the order. But it's going to be a tough one, though. I think many of our drivers are going to be sitting, trying to see where on earth can they make up those times, where can they get the climb, because we are sitting with only a few minutes left. And at the moment, Leighton Ferrari is our top running order, not backing down from the fight. So keep an eye on him. He's hoping that he can stand up towards the top of the order ahead of Luca, who has been a proper contender this last little while. So Luca, who has been fighting against some of the best in South Africa and has done a sterling job to stay ahead of the best in South Africa, is going to have to do it once again out on the Simgrid for the likes of our IndyCar racing. Leighton Ferrari looking to put a dampener on that, and also to take on the crown that so far his friends have been able to hold. Leighton Ferrari hoping that he can show Troy Dolanchik a 1-2-3. Luke Lucchesi as well, going and putting out the challenge and saying, listen, I'm not going to back down from this fight. You need to try and earn your spot. Well, so far, he's done enough to put himself in the fighting order. Jan Ferrari out in second place with Willem Buerta running in third. Fourth place, Alex Moore at the moment, as he tries to get a little bit more momentum to him. Gerald Ferrari along with Peter Meyer going and running in 8th place as they stand, trying to get a little bit more of a run. Timothy Stanton in 9th. Noah Hendricks moving himself up into 10th place, is really properly hanging on to it all. And he's hoping that top 10 is going to stay. Gareth Britt ain't got anything to say about it. Neither is Jean van Rensburg. Werner Swart still on a lap, though. May be able to improve. Leon Wessels, Doug Herber, all starting to try and get that last minute in. As we take a look, Doug Herber, unfortunately, is poor on all sectors. That's not going to help him out. Leon Wessels only improved through one sector. He's going to try and make a move as he comes across the line. It does move him from 19th to, well, 19th. He did a personal best, but couldn't quite get it across the line. Werner Swart tries to make a bit of a move. Etienne Swart still hanging in there, trying to put a time out on the board that is a little bit more respectable than the 1:14.06 that he's got currently. 28 cars were able to put a time on the board. Unfortunately, Sean Sims, who is down at the bottom, was not able to get a time on the board during the course of that 8-minute qualifying. Now remember, we have got quite a bit happening here tonight. We have got some of the best racing around. But I also want to point out that we have got 2 heats to deal with. Let's go through our grid, though, because this is where it gets a little bit more exciting. Leighton Ferrari out in first place with Jan Ferrari, Willem Buerta, Alex Moore, Luca Logovic, Malcolm Pringle, Gerald Ferrari, Peter Meyer, Timothy Stanton, Noah Hendricks, Luke Lucchesi, and Gareth Brits in 12th. Moving a bit down from there, we have got Brandon Roberts, Jens van Rensburg, Roland Ferreira, Werner Swart, Stephen Kutzer, Jeff Hancock, Leon Wessels, Dirk Herber, Robbie Teens, along with Raymond Duggan, Peter van der Spey, and Wayland Kersop rounding out our field here tonight. Standing start. Oh, is it going to be a standing start? No, this will be a rolling start as it's IndyCar. But there's a few tricks to the bag that can be held that our drivers will have to use. So let's go on board with our IndyCars and take a look at what possibly can be used here tonight to get them further up through the field, because I know many people will be wondering, doesn't IndyCars have something special? Yes, they do. They have a push to pass function. So we jump on board, you'll see the steering wheels all lined up and our drivers getting themselves ready, Try and get to inside the cockpit. Nope, that's not going to help us. Okay, well, on the steering wheel, we have a push to pass, and you'll see that many of the drivers do have a push to pass that they can utilize. Hitting the button means that they will utilize some of that push to pass to get past their competitors. Great stuff, but it is limited, so they can only use a certain amount of it during the course of the race. It will only work while you're flat on the gas and not when you're on the brakes. So as soon as you brake, the push to pass ends, or as soon as you come off the throttle, even remotely by a little bit, you will land up with it slowing up. You will lose that push to pass. So anytime you're going to get on the throttle means that it's done and dusted. So keep that in mind, keep it in the back of your mind as you go and do your race. We do see that Leighton Free has pushed himself a bit more forward, and we've got Jan Free trying to make up some time. He's cruising around at the back with Willem Buerta and Alex Moore going and running the BWT colors for the RDSA. Gotta say, very, very interesting set of colors. The BWT, a lot more striking, a lot more iconic, and glad to see that guys are picking a more positive and just vibrant colors from the world of racing. That's where I've got to say the world of ovals compared to track, the ovals tend to have a little bit more color to them, a little bit more spice, a little bit more bright in your face versus take Johan Farie's car, black. It's easy, can disappear into the darkness. So I do go and hope that as the racing continues, as the season continues, we will see more vibrant colors coming in from all our drivers picking to go and try a next little bit there. So going to be an interesting time, but we have got 29 cars lined up on the grid. We so far got 27 running. Vano Kersop and Jeff Hancock are going to be starting from pit lane. You'll be noticing that the drivers are going and accelerating and braking. They are trying to get as much heat into the tires and into the brakes to get ready to go. These cars are very, very stiff. So don't let that fool you. It is going to make life a little bit more tricky for them, and they're going to have to utilize any sort of what to do, how to get that little bit more acceleration, how they're going to climb up and get to the top of the order in this, and lots of thinking of where it all needs to go. So Leighton Free, Jan Free are going to be getting themselves lined up, and the two Frees leading out to the pack. Willem Buerta running in third place. We'll look to try and get ahead of Alex Moore on the start. Couple of blinkers out in the grid as we're getting ready to go up onto the oval, and now in through the infield. For anyone that doesn't know Indianapolis, this is the Roval. They're utilizing both the infield and the outskirts to try and get their way through, making their way around, keeping it nice and gentle. And Leighton Free already just gunning it out of the box. That has fooled Jan Free, who's caught out, and now all the drivers absolutely gunning it out, but it is an absolute carnage. Willem Buerta being one of the carnage out there. Alex Moore trying to make his way around, getting pressurized by Malcolm Pringle, who comes right onto the back of him, and it does look like Alex Moore falling off. No, that is Jan Free outbraking himself, dropping down 3 positions, going 4, 5. Unfortunately, I couldn't even keep it all in check there. Noah Hendricks tries to go for the pass, but Free trying to come back at him. So Noah Hendricks going to battle his way around over the curbs, loses out a lot of time. Oh, another bit of contact from Timothy Stanton into the side of Free. Now they do have some repairs in the pits that the guys are able to get utilizing and get going, but we do see Free, who started out in second, now trying to battle it out, and they are on the prime tires. In other words, they're on the red tires. Then you will have our, well, these are the alternatives on the red. Our prime is the white walled tires. Those are essentially the harder compound tires that the drivers are going to have to utilize as they have a mandatory tire change. Noah Hendricks feeling a lot of pressure there, trying to deal with the likes of Jens van Rensburg all over the back of him. Brandon Robert trying to come back at him, doing everything that he can for the Proton Velocity Esports team, really getting into the back of Janse van Rensburg ahead of him. But out towards the top end, it is Leighton Free, who's broken away from the field. Alex Moore dealing with Malcolm Pringle, who is still coming at him. Gerald Free hanging in there in the McLaren colours, trying to really step it up and close down Peter Meyer, who has had an almighty climb And a bit of a challenge coming over from Assetto Corsa Competizione to iRacing is now looking to keep his way into the battle. Jan Ferrari trying to make up some time with Luke Lucchese survived all the carnage. He's ahead of Noah Hendricks and Jens van Rensburg trying to look for the inside line. Couldn't quite get it done. Brandon Roberts, Steven Kutzer going and giving a good go. Werner Swart hanging in there. Roland Ferreira a little bit further back for the ETA Autosport. A lot of these drivers went and competed in the Indy 6 Hour this past weekend. And I know, like, Roland Ferreira is one of them, teaming up with Team Tryhard, and he managed to get across the line. Paul Webber trying to make his way through the Batman car. Then we've got Leon Vessels for the Slowpoke Racing, and you can see that smile on his face. I'm sure there's a big smile in that helmet as he climbs up. Sean Sims a little bit further back. Doug Herber trying to make his way through with the likes of Tienas Pochita, who is out on the charge. Luka Logovic running a little bit further back now, needs to try and battle his way through. Willem Buerta back out after his incident at the start. Gareth Brits unfortunately got caught out on that, the Almost Gaming Nitro. A lot of people are actually not quite sure about the Nitro team. That is more, well, it was called the junior division, but it is more the building up division. So you'll have the Almost Gaming, which is the main division that you want to go for. The Nitro is where you go for proving grounds. It's not really the juniors per se, or the academy. That is more of, you couldn't quite commit to all the stuff. So you're on the reserve list, if I can put it that way. Peter van der Spey, the captain, out there for the Captain Walker in colours. And then we've got Dino Mai along with Timothy Stanton going to make his way through. Etienne Swart, unfortunately, not on in the race, and will be missing out quite a few points here for Heat 1. And we got Niall busy saying, Alex Moore, my boy, making Alan R very, very proud out there. We can see him out in the virtual grandstands with huge excitement, big smile on his face. Well, let's see how he's going to do. Well, Malcolm Pringle deals with, looks like Gerald Ferrari up on the inside, gets the pass done, runs out wide, and now suddenly having to just pull away. Then we have got Peter Meyer having a good go at Jan Ferrari. Remember, Jan Ferrari started at the top. Peter Meyer, though, just outbrakes and unfortunately lands up into the dirt. Now down the order, so that is going to properly hurt him as he rejoins the track behind Noah Hendricks and Luke Lucchese, who are managing to pull away. But Peter Meyer now has Steven Kutzer gets past. Steven has no problem on his way through. Roland Ferreira feeling the pressure. Suddenly he has Van Rensburg diving up on the inside, and Jens van Rensburg knows this all too well as he tries to make his way past Werner. Well, he's made his way past Werner Swart, but now onto the back of Roland Ferreira. So the Slowpoke Racing dealing with the ETA Autosport, who is out there on the climb, doing everything he can. Werner Swart going and trying to battle back for the Altered Carbon Racing. Looks for the inside, couldn't quite get it done. And now trying to keep into the proper run. So Van Rensburg needs to keep a very cool head at the moment. He's in the slipstream, push to pass, will be working out. Carries a lot of momentum as they battle their way through and dives for the inside line, trying to get it all booked in and just getting ahead by the skin of his nose. But can he carry the momentum? You've got to just feather the throttle through, and he does so. Van Rensburg around the outside gets it ahead of Roland Ferreira. And we do see Cameron de Bastos, one of our drivers that knows single-seaters very, very well here in iRacing. He's out there in the virtual grandstands. Maybe, just maybe, we might convince him or two to go and lend, if you would like to give us a few insights, especially into the world of IndyCar racing and what our drivers are going to be expecting out there for very aerodynamic vehicles. And I reiterate, these cars are extremely on aerodynamics. That means if you get that pressure taken off the nose, you're in for an absolute world of hurt. So you got to just play that, and also with the tires coming into play, it does make things a little bit more difficult. So it's always interesting to get a bit of an insight from our different drivers, and always a good one to have a chat to those who are out there. So at the moment, we do see Malcolm Pringle, who has now lost a track of Ferrari, suddenly falling into the clutches of Luke Lucchese. He's been making up some ground. The RDSA Pantera Racing esports driver is properly laying into there and using a little bit of that Shell V-power to pull him through, jumping over the curbs, bottoming the car out on the way through. not having an easy time, that is for certain, but is going to carry a lot of momentum. A little bit further down, Doug Herber onto the back of Sean Sims. So Sean's now starting to feel the pressure and will have to try and keep ahead of Doug Herber, who's doing everything he can to pull it back. We do see that Tianas Porchita, though, go to a quick replay, had a bit of a problem. What happened to Mr. Porchita? Goes in, under braking, tries to pull it back. Oh, the rear just stepping out a little bit. And that's it, rotates around. Luckily, good avoidance there. And the racing could still continue nonetheless. So, bit of a difficult time there. Sean Sims, though, dealing with Paul Webber just ahead of him. The man trying to deal with Sean Sims all over the back of him. Managing to hold that outside line, brings it back nice and easy. And Doug Herber going and applying a little bit more pressure onto the back of him and having a good run. Talking about that, I've got a special guest that's come in through the door, stuck in. All I can say is Cameron DeBastos coming in to bring a bit of a chat. Cameron, always fantastic to have you in the box. A person that's gone through the championships in the F4s, both here and across the waters. Now getting to see the IndyCars, as we do see, unfortunately, likes of Paul Webber losing out in a straight line to Sean Sims. Very difficult cars, high aerodynamics, but lots of fun to see the IndyCars out on the track.
Yeah, good evening, Stephen, and good evening, everybody out there. A bit of a different sight out here for me. Fortunately, missing out on this event due to work commitments, but you sneak away a bit just to come enjoy some entertainment. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned before, these cars, very, very tricky little cars to drive around. I mean, extremely aerodynamic with just how they bolt, and then of course that limited amount of push to pass that the cars have. It's a nippy little car. Points, if you turn the wheel, the car points immediately there, and it's even worse to try and point the car continuously left and manage the tires in the oval. So I've tried to drive it around in on a road course before, and it's something else. They're fast. They punish your mistakes if you make the smallest mistake in the simplest of corners, which unfortunately I've seen some lockups tonight here where cars the drivers just missing their brake points, and then the car locks up, and then no matter what you just continue straight. But extremely fun cars to drive, and it makes me a bit sad I'm missing out here, but also it's fun to watch from the grandstands tonight.
Well, taking a look at some of the racing out there and taking a look at some of the drivers, lots of questions coming in of the tyre compounds. Now, we forever talk about tyre compounds in the world of Formula One between hard and soft. That's what the guys are facing here tonight. Red is soft, ultra grip at the start, but does fall off a cliff while driving over the long run. I think when you get about 7 laps in, you're already starting to feel the car just understeering underneath you and just tires wanting to just give up. Suddenly you go for the harder compounds that just changes the whole feel of the car. Thankfully, these cars, you can adjust the anti-roll bar from inside the vehicle, so you can adjust it as it goes. But while you're in a fight, take Roland Ferreira and Werner Swart, who we see out on track, going at each other nose to tail. I mean, what goes through a driver's mind that you're having to change stuff inside the vehicle to keep going, plus you're trying to think about the mandatory pit stop, because this is not a new addition to the RaceFace scene. We've done it with our GT cars, we've done it on the Assetto Corsa Competizione. Mandatory pit stops always becoming a very challenging thing for drivers to work out. What do you think is going through these drivers' heads right now, considering we're 10 minutes and 40 seconds into this race in a 30-minute heat race?
Well, as you mentioned, Stephen, this car is a tricky. Now throwing already, now you have to measure tire compounds. I mean, for many of these pilots out there, it's their first time driving or racing this car, pretty much buying specifically for this championship that is currently that's starting officially tonight here. So it's a bit of a tricky one. They have to manage the tires, they have to adjust the car accordingly. I mean, you're going to burn fuel, the car's going to get lighter, the rear's going to step out a lot more, so you have to make a lot of changes. You mentioned about the anti-roll bar. I believe I do know that they have the weight jackers. That's for I believe that manages the anti-roll bar. I do stand on the correction for that.
Yes.
It's a lot of different.
The weight jacker actually moves. The weight jacker actually moves like a piece of metal inside. Changes where the weight shifts as well. So you got the anti-roll bars and you got the weight jacker to help move pressure around the car. So lots of technical stuff that can be fiddled with. For most people, rather just keep it where it is.
Yeah, I mean, me and you would also say, listen, just stick to what it is, and if the car does get a bit more lively, or the rear starts stepping out, or the car just understeers like crazy, we'll ask around, ask our engineers and say, listen, what do we change? How do we change this? Do we go up or down on the way jackets, or anti-roll? How do we go around this? But most of these drivers out here are solo drivers. They do not have someone who's in the ear constantly saying, listen, okay, this is the gap to the car in front, watch your tires. We see a massive lockup there from the car in front of Roland Ferreira there. But again, it's Peter Meyer going into pits, and Roland Ferreira. Everybody's jumping into.
There we go.
There's a 3-man dive into the pits there. But I mean, this is going to be now another example. It's you have to manage anti-roll bar, you have to manage your weight jackets, and you also have to think of the tires. And, I mean, no matter how good you are in any car, you can't manage a soft tire to stick around for the laps. That is, they get up to temp very quick, they go into the operating window very fast, and then they just drop out as soon as also quite fast there. We've seen it in Formula 1 cars on in the real life circuit also. So you can. I think this rule is also the same. You have to change your tire at least once. I do stand under correction.
Yes.
You can't use the same tire compound. Thank you for that. So you can't just stick around on soft and be super quick until the very end. You need to be either on the hard or the medium. And this is going to test the driver's strategy to the very end. They're going to have to know how they're going to approach it, what their pace is on the hard and medium tire. Do they want to go for the long run, sacrifice a bit of pace and go for the hards, or get a bit more pace, be in the operating window and stay there a bit longer with a medium, but then at the very end have a massive drop off? So it's a give and take situation here. So it's a very technical car to manage, a much more deep understanding needed. But I mean, me and you, you spend a lot more time in this car than I have myself, and I'm pretty sure that these drivers out here have spent hours practicing. I do know last night there was a practice session being run, and the cars were being tested to the absolute limit. Drivers were testing to see who goes where, who does what the pace is, and this is already how they already started managing the strategy, how they're going to attack tonight's race. Indy is I think it's the first time that we've ever run this course in any of our racing events. We've run it multiple times on ACC, but again, it's actually a point of discussion that we had within our team last night, saying, well, this is a bit different than the ACC one, maybe 1 or 2 corners being removed, but it's still a very tricky track, and throw in a car that's aerodynamic, nippy, and a lot of technical understanding required on how to manage this car. It provides some magnificent racing.
Oh, we just saw Willem Buerta in shot go and slide the car around, and that's put the car through its first heat cycle, having a bit of a problem there. Jan Ferrari getting ahead of Jeff Hancock's on the throttle, so he's managing to get his way to the top. But lots and lots of pit stops coming in, as you brought up. Indianapolis, a very new circuit to the iRacing calendar, but I've got to say, a lot of these drivers did complete the iRacing 6-hour that was this past weekend. They got to experience it, but just in the wrong car. GT3s, LMDH are quite close to these cars, very nippy in terms of you got the higher arrows. But now for a driver's perspective, for open wheel racing, looking at the championship, looking at the scale of it, a lot of people are thinking about get the win now. You have to get the win now. Do you really need to get the win right now, this second? Or is there a bigger picture that you have to look at? I mean, you fought it out in a championship like this, and separate with the F4s, how close it got. I mean, this has been a proper run. Taking a look, I even see Tristan Herbst going and saying, go to his team as they pounce their way through. But there's so much that goes into this championship, looking further down the road than race one. But I mean, a double heat race, how do you put that into your own perspective of, well, keeping your head for the longer championships? They've got eight runs, and yet they are fighting it out like this.
Well, I would, from my perspective, I would always give it full gas all the way to the very end, trying to get that win and get it done with. However, it's, as you mentioned, something that needs to be looked at in the overall picture. I have done that where I push to the very end, or from the start I push, but that put also a lot of more pressure on yourself as a driver. You're trying to maximize your points, you're trying to get that win. You know you've got the pace and the speed in order to get to that position.
Oh, that did not work out. Willem Buerta pulled out of that one very, very quickly, sealing that there was a problem coming through. And unfortunately, Paul Webber, who got stuck 3 wide with Jeff Hancock's, tried to go side by side there, landed up with a few broken cars. So Willem Buerta's just surviving, and Jeff Hancock's, unfortunately, pulled quite a late braking maneuver to get that all sorted in. Unfortunately, 1 casualty came into it. Sean Sims losing out a position to Leighton Ferree. Now Leighton is out there, he is quite quick and consistent on the track, running in a net first place behind Raymond Duggan, Jens van Rensburg and Luke Lucchesi at this point.
I mean, yeah, it's good. Being consistent, that brings back, that ties into what I was saying. Consistency. You can try and hunt for that win, but if you don't have consistency, then it is all pointless. You need to be able to push, be consistent. Ooh, as you see that very second-hand car.
That was Paul Webber, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I mean, that again highlights the point of how sensitive these cars are. I mean, he was unfortunately an unlucky passenger in that point, trying to clear out of the way of the cars coming up behind him, but unfortunately just locking up the brakes there, and it's a ripple effect. You are an innocent passenger, you get hit, and then it is the end of your, well, not end of the race, but as you take a look at Luke Lucchesi, who's currently running in first. What happened here?
Oh, just had the rear step out. He's able to keep it going, but the tyres are going to feel like absolute snot on the way through. So not ideal circumstances there. But I would say a pirouette like that, possibly I'd say about a 6 out of 10. Could be better, could be worse.
You never really see a mistake like that from Luke regarding that, unless of course you have a nice little battle with him and unfortunately tangle your front axles to one another. But no, it's a whole different ballgame. A late dive there from Jeff Hancock's into the pits, which releases Willem Buerta to continue there. But yeah, I mean, it goes back to the whole thing, patience. If you have the pace and you have a clear run, cool, you can go for the win. But it depends on which championship you're in also. You need to know, you told me this multiple times, you need to know who is your closest competitor, try and beat them and try and maximize your points for that. But if you don't get the win, then that's so be it. There's 6 more rounds after tonight's races. So try and get the best at what you can and see what you can do. No need to fuss over, oh, I didn't win. Clear after race 1, clear your head down, and just continue maximizing your points for the next turnaround. There's no point in focusing on the bad stuff. I should actually write this out and take my own advice, as Stephen is probably shaking his head saying, yeah, listen to yourself, Cameron, because I have done it multiple times, but sometimes you just need to take a step back and really just refocus on everything that's happening there. But no, it's all about maximizing the points you have. Don't worry, don't go chasing that first place immediately. Just stick with what you have, go out from there and get to the end of the championship. Who knows, your competitors might miss a race, they might make a mistake. Escom might decide to make a reappearance and say, listen, I'm going to disconnect a few of your competitors to give you a bit of a competitive edge. You never know.
Willem Buerta, who just went to touch the walls, got a very broken nose and just no downforce on it to try and sort himself out. And suddenly has Alex Moore getting the pass, moving up into 5th place. But Willem Buerta only getting pressure to the right side of his car as he battles it out, really doing everything he can. I'm taking a look also to the grandstands. Jaco Krobler, who was meant to be racing, unfortunately unable to get the car sorted out to make it to pre-race. So he's just watching from the sidelines at this point, going and cheering on our drivers as they fight it out. But Alex Moore trying to break away from the field. Now only 9 minutes left. Jens van Rensburg into the pits. Raymond Duggan dives into the pits. That means that Leighton Ferree will retake his top spot with the likes of Jan Ferree coming at him. Remember, Jan Ferree fell down the order after having a bit of a problem, so Jan Ferree will be quite happy with this. Alex Moore will then move up into 3rd place with Willem Buerta Joachim Pringle, Noah Hendricks, Steven Kutzer has stepped it up. He's coming his way through the field. Peter Meyer into that top 10 at the moment, and I think he's even surprised himself as he puts on pressure onto the back of Kutzer just ahead of him. Roland Ferreira will be trying to chase him down. Luka Logovic, who has also been on a proper charge. Werner Swart, Sean Sims, and along with Robbie T and Stoke Herbert, Brandon Robert, Jeff Hancock, Gareth Britz, who lost it, just going and jacking up that wheel. And now here comes Jeff Hancock, who's been through the wars, battling it back. Paul Webber after the break he had. Vanon Kersop, Timothy Stanton, Leon Vessels, Peter van der Spey trying to keep on to the back, along with Tianas Porchita, Etienne Swart, Luke Lucchesi, Dino, and Gerald Ferree, unfortunately not able to get themselves going. But top spot is Leighton Ferree at this point. But Peter Meyer trying to challenge Steven Kutzer, looks up on the inside, late break, and Kutzer had no way of dealing with it as Peter Meyer just got the acceleration down a little bit too late. He's going to try and carry a lot of momentum through. So Peter Meyer's got to really rely on utilizing that push to pass to maybe go for a bit more of a defensive play to try and break away from the likes of Kutzer behind him. Jeff Hancock's going and clawing onto the back of Gareth Britz, who's recovering after losing their tail a little bit there. He's having to try and get it all going. But the heat cycles that's just gone through his tires is absolutely terrible. It's going to be like snot out there, and these cars are not going to be the most fun to drive around. Willem Botha, he's onto the back of Alex Moore at the moment. They're fighting it out for third place into the closing stages of the race, and it's all or nothing. Got to say, with a broken nose, he is doing everything he can to try and go and fight it out regardless. And you've got to take your hats off to drivers that are really sticking it out, especially with all the damage.
Yeah, absolutely. If you even saw a lot of drivers doing the F4, even if you don't get a meatball flag from the stewards and you try and stick it out, you fight with a very loose steering rack at the front, and you just try and stick it out. If your wheels are all pointing the same direction and your throttle is working, you give it hell, and just of course having to adjust some brake point, but you're going to unfortunately suffer in some places there. But unfortunately, Stephen, I will have to leave. My work break is a bit over, and looking forward to continue watching the race from the grandstands.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Thank you very much, Cameron de Bastos, a former Going for the Fight champion here at RaceFace. Always good to have a chat to our commentators and racers and everyone that's been a part of it. And taking a look, this is a proper run. The Dallara IR18. And if you are thinking about getting hold of one of these cars, I highly recommend it. And come race with us here at RaceFace.Pro, because we're going to be doing a lot more circuit racing. Maybe chuck in a oval sooner or later for those that love going and doing a bit of oval racing, or even want to try their hand. It's worth going for it. But Raymond Duggan all over the back of Werner Swart at the moment. And Werner trying to get a little bit more on the throttle. Sees Roland Ferreira starting to lose traction. Lost a whole lot of it. Werner Swart gets a pass done. Raymond Duggan gets a pass done. Roland Ferreira down the order suddenly will be having a bit of a problem, because here comes Sean Sims, and he's bringing Robbie Teens in for the fight as well. So Werner Swart all over the back, trying to make his way up. He wants to get onto the back of Luka Logovic, but Raymond Duggan will try and get on the power. And like those Nikes that were banned in the Comrades Marathon, he has got all the grip, he's got all the bounce, but can he carry it all the way through to the line? Hard on the brakes, only 5% needed. And if you know the joke, congratulations, you know your shoes jokes. As we see Werner Swart go and come across, he's got now the captain, Peter van der Spey, going and battling it out as he fights for the run, going out wide. Push to pass is a bit of a thing for our drivers having to utilize, and who's got some left in the bag? That is what many will be asking at this point. Let's see if we can try and bring up where they push the passes sit at the moment, because, well, I'll know for myself, I would love to see where it's all going. And quite a few people have been really relying on those push to passes to just keep on the drive. Numbers a bit all over the show there, I do apologize, but it seems to be a bit of a weird one. Taking a look at our tire compounds though, a lot have gone to the alternative tire. That is our red tires. Luka Logovic being the first of those, with Raymond Duggan, Sean Sims Jeff Hancock's Paul Webber along with Luke Lucchesi, and we've got Peter van der Spey also on that tyre as well. There's Raymond Duggan trying to have a look. Werner Swart trying to close up that little bit of a gap. Not having an easy time out there. Really has to battle it out. Suddenly has, that looks to be Luke Lucchesi, who is trying to make up some time. Yes, it is. Luke Lucchesi will have more grip, and he's trying to unlap himself at this point. And for the likes of Werner, it's going to be, right, let him go. Let him into the slipstream and pull him along, because Luke is a rather quick driver, and he is on the better set of tyres, so rather let him try and punch a hole in the gap and follow him through. Out in front, though, Leighton Fourie out in first place, having an easy drive, 13 seconds away from Johan Fourie, who is on a proper climb. Alex Moore running in third place is broken away from Willem Buerta, who has really taken a beating, and I think that left-hand tyre is now left-hand front starting to hurt like no tomorrow. Malcolm Pringle getting away from Noah Hendricks. Peter Meyer running in 7th position at the moment, and Steven Kutzer trying to go at him. And just to reiterate of the things that have gone on, Peter Meyer at one point was told, listen, you got to shape up or ship out in this fight. You got to really start getting yourself all together. And he said, watch me. I'm going to enter these iRacing races, and I'm going to improve big time, as we do see. That was Werner Swart now getting past and having a bit of a tough time out there. Had one of the back markers, trying to see who that was exactly that darted around. Willem Buerta into the pit, so he's getting a car repaired. Will drop out of that top 10 quite quickly. Sean Sims now trying to get a little bit of momentum towards Werner Swart. Robbie Teens making his way through. Then we have got Roland Ferreira is dealing with Brandon Roberts all over the back of him. Brandon Roberts, part of Proton Velocity Esports. Brandon Roberts at one point was also part of iRacing Safari, I think it was called, and then Pandacity Esports, and has been fighting for a championship once before in single seat racing. Now he's gone and changed up the colours to a bit of blue, a bit of black, and I know that he's having a bit of fun out there chasing down Roland Ferreira of ETA Autosports, trying to keep up that drive with only 2 minutes to go. This is going to be a proper run. This is only Heat 1, ladies and gentlemen, so might I add, this is Heat 1. We do have a Heat 2, another 30 minutes that the drivers are going to have to battle it out and see who can claw their way to the top. Both heats, though, means that you're maximizing points, and that does change up a championship. Instead of going and essentially having one race and one set of points, you're going to have an advantage of, if you had a dull race in your first run, well, you have an opportunity in your second. Doug Herber looking to make this a proper impact. Goes up on the inside, carries a lot of momentum late on the brakes. Just couldn't get ahead of Brandon Roberts, who goes later on the brakes to try and bring himself in. Suddenly, our leader onto the back of them, and will be trying to make up some time. As Leighton Fourie will be seeing Doug Herber in the mirrors, well, ahead of him. Doug Herber keeping a very close eye. Brandon Roberts still going after the back of Roland Ferreira at this point, as they charge their way through. 1 lap to go, and it looks like Roland Ferreira is going to have to really try and figure it out. The 327 car getting in the mix there, and that is Vanon Kursop, who landed up being a bit of a door stop and allowed Brandon Robert up on the inside of Roland Ferreira, who locked it up, tried bringing the car back, and just couldn't get it all tucked in. So these two absolutely chase each other down, and now Willem Buerta has come into the mix of it. Leighton Fourie giving the gap and saying, go for it. So Leighton Fourie, by the graces, said, listen, my race is sorted. He's now just gone and introduced Willem Buerta into this fight. Willem is going to properly send it in the pink. And Roland Ferreira stuck in the middle. Brandon Robert trying to get his way through, as we do lose the likes of Roland Ferreira. Well, Fourie loses out. Willem Buerta managing to get past, now has a shot to make up one more position over Brandon Roberts. Fourie lost the rear, and we do see Werner Swart is pulled into the pit. So Werner Swart's going to drop down the field. Brandon Roberts going to try and give it his absolute all. Leighton Fourie has given them the gap, and it does look like Willem Buerta backs off the throttle, allows the guys to go through, saying, all right, my race is run. But Leighton Fourie gets the top spot. Second goes to Jan Fourie. And now we have got Alex Moore, who will be running up in third place. This is Heat 1. We do have Heat 2 coming up, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Alex Moore taking third place. Malcolm Pringle will be coming across the line in fourth place for the Team Slowpokes. Definitely not a slowpoke there. He's getting chased down by Noah Hendricks out in fifth. Sixth place goes to Peter Meyer, who on the way was a chopping block victim for his team, has only pulled up his socks and showed why he should stay in it. Well done, Peter. I'm proud of you, buddy. Luka Logovic in 7th place. 8th, Steven Kutzer, along with Raymond Duggan. Sean Sims comes across the line in 10th place. Robbie Teens in 11th will be make his way through. Brandon Roberts in 12th. We'll have Werner Swart going and closing down. Then we got Willem Buerter, Doug Herber, Roland Ferreira. We got Garrett Britz, Jeff Hancock, Weber, all going and sawing their way through. But do my eyes deceive me? Doug Herber, very, very slow. Incredibly, well, no, never mind. He's not going to lose out. Roland Ferreira definitely will get that, get stuck in that point. So just doing a nice in-lap for us here at World of RaceFace.Pro for the iRacing. What a drive, nonetheless, from our drivers. Absolutely incredible stuff. And we've got to go and say, well done to all our drivers. Incredible, incredible run, ladies and gentlemen. But let's go and take a look at what our results were, because, man, oh man, that was a bit of a wild one. Now, there's one thing I failed to tell everyone, and we'll mention that after this, because this is our Heat 1 results. Leighton Free taking the top spot, Johan Free in 2nd place, Alex Moore, Malcolm Pringle, Noah Hendricks, Peter Meyer, Luka Logovic, Steven Kutzer, Raymond Duggan, Sean Sims, Robbie Teens, along with Brandon Robert, Werner Swart, along with Willem Buerter in 14th, 15th, Doug Herber, Roland Ferrer, Gareth Britz, Paul Weber, Luke Lucchesi, and Leon Vessels running in 20th position. Moving a little bit down from that, we do have 21st, Jeff Hancock, followed by Timothy Sand, Peter van der Spey, Jens van Rensburg, Van Kersap, Etienne Swart, Dino Mayo Chai, I do apologize if I get that one horribly wrong, Tianas Porchita, and Gerald Ferree rounding out our field. Now, I did say that we are going racing and everyone has got everything on the line and we're in for a great race. Well, I failed to mention that this is split by class. Shocker. We have got a Pro and a Pro-Am. And let's take a look who won Pro. I think everyone is taking a good guess at this one. Leighton Free taking the win, along with Johan Free in 2nd place. Noah Hendricks in 3rd. Peter Meyer in 4th. Luka Logovic in 5th. Raymond Duggan in 6th. 7th is Doug Herber, followed by Luke Lucchesi, Jeff Hancock, Timothy Stanton, Jens van Rensburg, and Gerald Ferree rounding out our Pros. Taking a look at our Pro-Ams. We have got Alex Moore, Malcolm Pringle, Steven Kutzer, Sean Sims, Robbie Teens, Brandon Roberts in 6th, Werner Swartz in 7th, Willem Buerter, Roland Ferreira, Gareth Britz, Paul Weber, Leon Vessels, Peter van der Spey, Van Kersop, Etienne Swart, Dino Machai, and Tianas Porchita rounding out our Pro-Am. Didn't get to show you guys that one. Got to keep some secrets out there, but now it is out the bag, folks. We are racing not only for overall victory here at Indianapolis for round 1 of our IndyCar Sprint Series for RaceFace.Pro, but we also have classes, Pro and Pro-Am. That just really stepped up the game. A lot of people busy thinking, but the GT3s had 2 splits. Why is this not the case? Well, IndyCar, not as popular as GT3 as we know, but for you guys that want to have a bit of fun out there, definitely need to come in and join and have some fun with the IndyCars. The Delara IR18 is actually a very, very used vehicle in the world of iRacing, so it is a very good purchase for those looking to get into oval track racing and do a bit of circuit racing as well, because there is a road license that counts as your Formula class, but there's also oval racing in these beautiful machinery, and you will always find a race with the IndyCars. But being our first round and first season, I've got to take a look to our grandstands, because the excitement out there was incredible. Did you guys have fun out there? Are you ready to see some more racing? That is my question, and I'm asking everyone out there in the virtual grandstands that are joining us here at RaceFace.Pro for the IndyCar Sprint Series. And we have got Jakob Krobler. He's saying, damn, I can't believe I just missed this round. Looking forward to the next one. Niall busy going and shouting out for Alex Moore. Sir Lags also going and giving a big shout out for his team. It's absolutely great to see. We've got Tristan Herbs going and putting in a bit of support. Tenvo going and putting in a huge support for the drivers as well. So great to see it. Time for some more T1 chaos. Hopefully not. The drivers a little bit more used to the cars, I would think, this time round. Not going to be losing out too much time. But we'll be thinking of the bigger picture come this race. So, while our warm-up is nearly at an end, it's got a 1-minute warm-up, allows our drivers to dial themselves in and get going. Lots of people are going to be asking, is this an open setup? Is this a closed setup? Because that does change the variance here of things. Well, this is a fixed setup series. GT3s are open. The IndyCars are fixed setup. Purely on the fact of there is so much to learn with these cars. It was spoken to all the drivers saying, listen, do we make this a closed setup and pick the same setups that are being used in the official calendar, because this does follow the official calendar here on iRacing, and it was decided, yes, we're going to do that. So there's only little things that you can change, brake bias, and just when you're using the push to passes and that. Other than that, drivers are going to have to really try and figure out where they can get the gains and losses. So working on the anti-roll bars and all that isn't too worked on during a fixed class setup, but you do move your brake bias just 5%, or even if you go and say for those 2 clicks back, that goes and impacts them big time. Do they use 2 compounds per race? Yes. You have to switch from your primary to your alternative, or your alternative to your primary. So from red wall to white wall to red wall, if I can put it that way. Red wall, everyone knows, soft, it's sweet, you can lay on it, it's the most comfortable, but it will drop you off a cliff if you don't like it. So, that being said, we're going to the grid, and we've done something even more surprising. Shockers! We brought out another one. We have reversed our top 5, so Noah Hendricks for the asymmetric racing team will be starting in first, Malcolm Pringle in second, followed by Alex Moore, Jan Ferrari, Leighton Ferrari starting in 5th place. He's going to be stuck right next to Peter Meyer and chased down by Luka Logovic, Steven Kutzer, along with Raymond Duggan, Sean Sims, Robbie Teens, and Brandon Roberts a little bit further down. Going past our top 12 there. Let's go down to 13th. Werner Swart, Willem Buerta, Doug Herbert, Roland Ferreira, Gareth Britz, along with Paul Webber, Luke Lucchesi, Leon Vessels, Jeff Hancock, Timothy Stanton, Peter van der Spey, and Sean Janssen van Rensburg a little bit further down. Going a little bit beyond that, we have got Venon Kursup, Etienne Swart, Dino Machai, Tiernas Porchita, and Gerald Ferrari rounding out our grid. 29 cars lined up on the line, getting ready to race. Excitement building, and it is going to be a great race for the front pack, as we do have the likes of Noah Hendricks looking to get a proper charge. This is a rolling start to try and get some heat into the tires. You're going to be really leaning on the brakes, trying to ensure that you get that up and sorted out. And the problem is, what you qualified on is the tire that you start on. Anyone know the problem to that? What the tire you qualified on is the tire that you start on. So these guys that qualified on the alternate tire, which is the red walls, will be doing it. So you set your fastest lap time on the red tires, you have to start with them. If you get your fastest lap time on the white walls, you start on the white walls. Little hints and little facts is depending on where you want to go. That's why qualifying, you can be a little bit smart on this one. If you really want to save some time, switch to the white walls on your qualifying. Get your lap in with the white walls. That will mean that come the race, you can go and stretch your legs and will be able to outlast the red walls. You won't be able to keep up with them in the corners at the start of the race, but it does give you the benefit of utilizing it a bit further. So for anyone that is out there thinking about the IndyCar and utilizing different tire compounds, I know there's more and more series starting to utilize that. Always take a look at what you're trying to do. If you're trying to go the long game, qualify on your hardest set. So it means that you're going to race the start on your hardest set versus your soft set. Who would have known that? To anyone out there in the virtual grandstands, I'm curious, who would have known that little trick? If you have, you're a bugger, because it means that you've really read the rule book and you know how to really play with the rules. A lot of support coming in. Peter Meyer going and getting a bit of support there from Tristan Herb, so he's on a bit of a climb. Leighton Free is the one to keep an eye out for. Gotta say, love to see the name Leighton Free out there on the grid and ready to have a bit of fun, but he is contending against some of the best in sim racing, looking to duke it out. So real world experience aside, he has got a lot to deal with. Malcolm Pringle and Noah Hendricks will be lining up to verse each other into turn one. Johan Free, Alex Moore, along with Peter Meyer into the fray of things as they make their way around. Safety car trying to get itself all in order. Time to burn some rubber as Jaco Krobler, he's taken his racing license and has walked through the pit, so he's enjoying a bit of the action from pit wall and giving us a bit of insight. He's done a little bit of practice as well. But Noah Hendricks on the throttle. He learned from the start and absolutely launches it. As you see Malcolm Pringle into the wall. Leighton Free gets taken out. And now it's just chaos. Malcolm Pringle lost the car, got caught out, and it is just a bit of a smack round of vehicles. But Leighton Free, who was our race winner, suddenly now is out of the race while getting a towed back to pits. Alex Moore into second place. That chases down Johan Free, and Peter Meyer got by that by the skin of his teeth. Oh my heavens, what a run there. Wow, oh wow. Let's go back a little bit. Let's take a look from what happened there. Oh, Leighton Free just had nowhere to go, and suddenly the ETA Autosports was in the wall as well with him, and both cars just absolutely decimated, and unfortunately meaning a big tow back to pits. A couple of other cars getting their first pit stops done and dusted. So Alex Moore trying to get a little bit of a run around, suddenly has Noah Hendricks trying to come back at him. Johan Free up on the inside, looks to go and battle it all the way through, but Noah Hendricks up on the inside, defends as much as he can. Peter Meyer now looking to put his nose in and really trying to get a little bit more drive underneath him, looking for the inside line, carrying a lot of the momentum. Will probably use a push to pass at this point to try and get him for a pass. And Free very, very close to Noah Hendricks. He moves out. He's going to go on the attack. Dips on the brakes. Can see how the car slumps down onto its suspension, onto those bump stops, just to try and pull it into check. But Noah Hendricks makes it extremely difficult for the cars to get by. Noah Hendricks, though, loses out the drive as he went out a little bit too wide. And now suddenly Free up into second place. Get that little bit more of a drive. Noah Hendricks can try and utilize the tow. Peter Meyer going to be closing up on the gap of him. Peter Meyer does look for the inside line. Second guesses it though. He's going to compromise some of his drive, and Luka Logovic will be gaining a bit of time onto the pack. So our drivers really absolutely giving it everything they got. A little bit further back though, our drivers all sticking in for a fight as even Willem Buerta goes after Raymond Duggan as they go around behind the BWT car of RDSA, now going after the likes of Raymond Duggan of Rad Racing, stuck on the outside, can't bring it back in, and really battles it out to try and get that pass done, but just couldn't get it sorted out. Sean Sims dealing with Brandon Robert and Doug Herber hanging into the bit there. Brandon Robert has not forgotten from his fight a little bit early on in race one, now lining up against Sean Sims. Side by side they go. And it's all about who's got the straight line speed, who's got the momentum. Going to be hard on the brakes, onto the front bunch stops they go. Will the 412 get ahead? Yes, it does. The Proton Velocity Esports, just like the Tellison that he's got in the picture. And yes, that is a Tellison kart that he's driving around in that picture. I'd like to see someone go and prove me wrong on that one. Well, he's got to mention some of the fun stuff to Doug Herber with a cheeky little smile sitting there. He's waiting and biding his time not to hurt his tyres. He's got Werner Swart going to be closing down on him. Peter Meyer losing out into the wall. Peter Meyer's into the wall. Peter Meyer has lost it into the wall. Oh my heavens, what happened there? Let's take a look. So Peter Meyer on the brakes. Oh, snap oversteer over the back of Noah Hendricks and into the wall. So he went and out-braked himself. And unfortunately, snap, puts himself and Noah Hendricks in a bit of a situation. Alex Moore has got Johan Free on to the back of him as they make their way through, trying to get a little bit more drive underneath them. So now Johan Free will keep up the tow. Hopes that he can really get the charge down. Alex Moore going defensive. Goes and baits Johan Free into missing his brake marker there. Luka Logovic now up into third place. Will be trying to gain a little bit of time here. Steven Kutzer and Willem Buerta now know what's on the cards for them. They're going to have to push through all that they can. And it is going to be a proper charge as Willem Buerta goes up on the inside of Steven Kutzer. Now is stuck on the outside. Steven Kutzer going to try and slot back in and does so. So the Slowpoke Racing driver keeping right behind Willem Buerta will carry the momentum through. Raymond Duggan, don't count him out. He's now closed up the gap. Brandon Roberts is making up the time. And Sean Sims dealing with Doug Herber at the moment, who is really coming up on the backside of him, trying to move forward and do everything he can to properly have a run. So Doug Herber going to have to really accelerate to look for the inside line. Not close enough though. Goes on the anchors to just try and bring the car back. The track is a little bit cooler now. A little bit more grip added to it. But take a look at the tyres. Sean Stim is currently on the white walls. That means he's on the harder compound tyres. Will be roughly about a second slower through the corners compared to Doug Herber. But if he can make it very, very difficult to get past, Doug Herber will burn those tyres faster than he can say hello to them. And that, it will hurt him. Van Rensburg going side by side with Leon Vessels. And Leon going and allowing him to go by. So Vessels not going to be going and smiling after that one, as Van Rensburg gets the pass done and carries on the momentum. Busy thinking, I'm in an IndyCar, I'm meant to go around in circles, and I'm used to going around ovals. This time, having to get past Leon Vessels, who has also done a bit of racing in his time and really put him for a fight. Paul Webber trying to close up the gap in the Batmobile, because you can't go wrong with a Batmobile. Etienne Swart running a little bit further back in 15th. So let's go through our running order, as we got Alex Moore and Jan Free currently side by side as they dive through the corner. Alex trying to go up on the inside, forcing Jan to go around the outside. Jan having a little bit more grip, carries the momentum through, but this is going to drop Alex Moore right behind him, and suddenly Luca's into the mix of it. Our top three all chasing each other down, snaking down the pit road. Jan Free trying to hold that inside line. Alex going to go around the outside. Luca's going to try to go around the outside as they go under the braking. And Alex just not able to get it all in, but does try and tuck the nose in enough. It stops Luca from getting the drive. Luca's going to try and chase him down. Looks to carry a lot of momentum at the moment, going right up that rear gearbox and really looking to try and hunt down that second place. Over the curbs they go, bottoming out, smashing that flat floor that's underneath these cars. And that wooden floorboard is getting a huge knock. Goes on the brakes as hard as he can, try and dip the nose in, locking up that left front, and just couldn't get the pass done. Now doing everything he can, and suddenly Willem Buerta is also into the mix here. So Moore has started opening up a gap to this little fight and start trying to close back down to Free. He has left Logovic and Buerta to also get into the fray of things. So Alex Moore needing to try and carry a lot of momentum here. Jan Free checked out of the fight, left second, third and fourth, all in a battle for themselves. Jan Free pulling into the pit, so he's going to serve his pit stop and change off those tyres. Means Alex Moore currently out in first place, goes for the inside defensive line. Luka Logovic around the outside, going to carry a lot of momentum. Here comes Peter van der Spey, though. That is going to start being a bit of a worry. Peter van der Spey will be a backmarker at this point. Side by side they go. Willem Buerta trying to still keep his nose in, carries a lot of momentum, looks for the inside line, just couldn't get it all tucked into the back of Luka. He had to carry a lot of momentum through. So Alex Moore, Luka Logovic, all giving it absolute hammer and horns to one another. Luca trying to get a little bit more pace, looks to hold his line. Willem Buerta tries to come back at him, gets a snap oversteer though on the brakes, really trying to get it back up and going. As they make their way through, we do see that was Peter van der Spey that actually stopped off on track. He just allowed the guys to go. Didn't want to get into too much of a fight there as they make their way through. So, well, no, it's actually Peter van der Spey still in the mix there, just ahead of them. He is still keeping on the power and still keeping on going. For our drivers, Luka Logovic pulling into the pits, and Willem Buerta going to be chasing him down as well. Alex Moore and Raymond Duggan will continue out on the track. Brandon Roberts will be continuing as well. Sean Sims gets ahead as Doug Herbert decides he's going to get into the pits. Steven Kutzer going a little bit wide. Gareth Britz now moving up. Dominus Gaming Nitro now trying to make his way a little bit closer. Peter Meyer is out of the race. He's going to have to deal with Janssen van Rensburg right behind him, and Van Rensburg's going to make it a little bit tricky. Stuck on the outside, late on the brakes. Can he get it all sorted out? Well, it's going to be late, but Britt's not arguing too much there. A little bit too hard on the anchors, and I think what he needs to do is just go that little bit 10% less. It will bleed it off a little bit early just to try and keep it. There's a lot of grip in that front end at the moment. Leon Vessel's trying to keep ahead of Paul Webber in the Batmobile. Dun, 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 dun. Can't get wrong with the Batmobile on the way through. And where on earth did that come from? I do apologize to everyone. Whew, talk about getting far too excited that you suddenly do weird and wonderful things. Gadzooks, so Batman can be, call me Robin at that point. Wowie bowies, Batman. Who would have seen that one coming? Any case, back to the racing at hand because it's going absolutely mental. Malcolm Pringle in 12th. Tinas Pochita running a little bit further up in the 13th position. 14th, Jan Ferrari. After dropping a bit down the order from his pit stop, Willem Botha on the chase. Got Venon Kursop running in 16th. Jeff Hancock's Gerald Ferrari a little bit further down as we do see Leighton Free minding out of the way. Dino Marche will be trying to make up some time. Noah Hendricks, after having his rear end gone and damaged, will be trying to close up to Doug Herbert. Luke Lucchese still out on circuit with Timothy Stanton, Peter van der Spey, Robbie Teens making his way around the track. Luka Logovic, who is in the pits, going and getting some serious repair work done to his car. Oh, Luca, what happened to you, buddy? You were in the fight, and now you're looking more than second hand. What on happened to Luka Logovic? So let's try and take a look. So Luka came out. Oh, clipped the dirt. And that was it. That was it. Gone and smashed the car. Luka Logovic, who was one of our top runners, went into the wall and smashed the car to pieces. So the Red Bulls, yes, they're starting to lose a bit of top end while losing a bit of grip. And that is because the softs wear out right about lap 9. They tend to taper off. They pretty much become a parachute with I would say, having spaghetti noodles as your ropes to hold on to the parachute. That is pretty much it. Sean Sims gathering a little bit of time. He's onto the back of Van Rensburg as they look to claw their way back up. So let's take a look at the pit stops though. As Brandon Robert Kutzer, Jens van Rensburg, Sims, Webber, Swart, all needing to do their pit stop. Swart into the pit lane. Pochita needing to also to get a pit stop done and dusted as they make their way around. Remember, this is a 30-minute race. This is Heat 2, ladies and gentlemen. So our drivers are having to really turn it up to the limit at this point as we see Van Rensburg closing right onto the back of Noah Hendricks and gets by. So Noah Hendricks was just holding his line. Van Rensburg trying to utilize that back marker slipstream as long as possible to pull himself along and enclose that he comes into it. So when you lose the rear, you become a passenger in the car. Yep. You tend to really hurt with it. Remember, these guys are not losing the car at 60 k's an hour. They are losing. You're taking the average speed of these cars is roughly, I would say, about 120 k's an hour. I mean, if we take a look at that top speed, just for anyone out there, 285 kilometers an hour, 293 kilometers, 295 kilometers an hour. I mean, that's top speed that these guys are getting up to, close to 300 kilometers an hour in a machine that only weighs roughly about 600 kilograms. I think you're going to get hurt. And for those that are actually wondering what people's iRacings are, because iRacing does have iRatings, there is your iRatings and safety ratings. So you can already see how we have got some top-notch drivers mixing in wheels, going and varying in all sorts. We do have our 3K drivers and 2K drivers. If anyone wants to take a look at our GT3s, we are running close to 7K iRating drivers in there as well. For anyone that isn't sure about 7K iRating drivers, well, Max Verstappen currently sits at 10. So if you want to talk about iRating, we've got some of the best here in South Africa, and I would dare to say some of the best drivers in the world racing here at RaceFace.Pro, and you get to race against them in Pro and in AM Division, so it's lots of fun. You can always get to race with someone that suits you. Brandon Robert pulls into the pits, Stephen Kutzer into the pits, and Van Rensburg's going to carry on going out one step further, so he's going to really stretch the wheels on that one and hope that he gets a little bit more time underneath him. Leon Vessel's going off to the back of the Ominous Gaming, so we have got the Ominous Gaming Brits going and defending against the slowpoke Vessels. So Vessels trying to gather a lot more time. Gets right behind to really go for the pass. Can he go for the sink in? He does try get it in, but can't get the pass done. Brits was a little bit better on the brakes there. It has helped him out a bit. And we've got Jeff Hancock's going after Werner Swart at this point. Trick you want to do with these cars is you really want to hang on to it. So with our push to pass, for anyone that missed out the start of it, every time you come off the throttle, you lose a push to pass. So take a look on your steering wheel. How many have you got left? What you want to do is you want to hit the button once. You want to have your foot absolutely firmly planted and carry a lot of the momentum. Here in Indianapolis especially, there is a left-right S that you go through at the start of the track. Definitely you want to use a push to pass there, as it will jump you up. You're going to run out wide to the left, so be well aware of it. But that can gather an extra 3 kilometers on the drive. For anyone that's listening, there is another little hint that you can utilize. But for those out there, Leon Vessels has got currently Gerald Ferree all over the back of him. That possibly also got that hint. So right here, this is where you want to hit the push pass. You keep it absolutely pinned all the way through, and you keep it pinned. Extra 5 to 10 kilometers can come out from just this little bit, and goes late on the brakes. Gerald Ferree onto the inside of Leon Vessels. Leon couldn't fight it out there as he loses out that little bit of top end. Jeff Hancock's trying to keep the likes of Vayner Kursop at bay. Vayner Kursop, part of the Prune Monacroon as he is streamer name, and also went out and racing. It was originally with THLF, if I remember correctly, last year. Well, actually beginning of this year as well. He was part of them and went and had a lot of fun. Great to see fellow South Africans really fighting out there. Willem Buerta going onto the back of Alex Moore. They've got a bit of a contention right behind him, because that is Luke Lucchese, I would think. That is chasing him down. Let's confirm with that. Yes, it is Luke Lucchese. It will be up on the right behind Willem Buerta. But this poses a very interesting question. Luke Lucchese is a very quick driver. He is rather quick, and at the moment, if you feel that your tyres are scrubbing off a bit, try and swap the cars around. Allow Willem Buerta to go and utilize the slipstream to pull himself a little bit closer to the likes of Alex Moore that's just ahead of him. So Alex Moore going and having a great race. Got to say, the pink really stands out. Love it. Absolutely love it. Too many pink cars though. Just saying. Love it, but at the same time, alteration. Jan Ferree trying to battle it out. He is going up on the inside of Malcolm Pringle. Pringle trying to go defensive, and Jan Ferree saying, well, no, thank you, buddy. I'm going to just get past. Locks it into fourth place and carries on the momentum there. So great pass there. Alex Moore keeping ahead. Willem Buerta still having Luke Lucchese pushing on the back of him. Raymond Duggan and Brandon Roberts going and making up some time as Tristan Tiernas Purkita. Why did I say Tristan? That is Tiernas Purkita having a very close run. Steven Kutzer, Werner Swart trying to chase him down. Luka Logovic is right behind him there. Then we have got Jeff Hancock trying to make up some time. He is getting chased down by Gerald Ferree and Gareth Brits. All over has Leon Vessels onto the back of him, hard on the brakes, trying to pull him right in. Slowpoke Racing and Ominous going and really fighting out at this point. Leon Vessels really trying to get on the power, as we do see a snap oversteer from Gareth Brits, getting on the power a little bit too early. If he feels that the car's starting to step out, needs to go up one gear. These cars have got a serious amount of low ground torque, so a lot of people tend to rely on the lower gears. You can actually drive quite a bit in second, so if you feel that you're losing a lot in second or getting the lining up rears, go up a gear. Oh no, as we go late on the brakes. Gareth Brits a little bit too late, locking up a front. Oh man, gone and wrecked those front tires. Another thing that the Indy cars can also teach you, and a lot of the guys also talk about, engine braking in these cars works phenomenally. Need to use them. Saves up on those tires quite a bit. Slowly down the gears though. You don't want to hammer it too fast. Between 5 and 6 is quite close in gear ratios, but when you're going from about 4th to 3rd, it's a little bit far, but you can get a lot of momentum there. Put it down into 3rd if you feel that you're going too fast for 2nd, and just try and use the engine braking instead of relying on the brakes, especially when things are starting to go wrong. When you start going and pushing the cars a little bit more, you will flat spot these tires, and as soon as you flat spot them, that's when you're in for a world of hurt. So that's when he's going to start feeling the grip breaking away, and you'll start getting the odd jitter in the steering wheel trying to keep you going, and that will turn into a world of hurt. Jeff Hancock's catching up to Paul Webber, doing everything he can to try and carry that a little bit more momentum on the way through. Going to have to really get on the brakes. Paul Webber in the Batman trying to keep it all together. Batman dealing with Mr. Sended Hancocks, and we saw why he was called Sended a little bit early on in the race. Now he's trying to battle with Batman, and he gets it done. Forces Paul Webber out onto the dirt just by hanging in the mirrors there, and Paul Webber, unfortunately, losing out quite a bit of pace. We'll suddenly take a look in his mirror and see that Ferrari is closing up at a rate of knots, bouncing on those curbs. He's got to have to take a little bit of time to get those tyres sorted out. You must take a look at the grading, see where the color of the tyre starts to change, and you can see where the pressure is starting to come in. You've got to start figuring that out. These cars are very, very dependent on their tyres, as Willem Buerta still trying to keep a bit of pressure on Alex Moore ahead of him. You can see Luke Lucchesi just trying to knock on that door the whole time and really push through. If these two could switch around, and Luke Lucchesi can use a push to pass to help pull Willem Buerta, who then could slingshot off him with a second push to pass, that might help going onto the ovals. That is a bit of a strat that is used in IndyCar, is actually having a buddy throw you around and use you like a slingshot between one another. So Paul Webber getting past Jeff Hancock's as he outbrakes himself. He's off into the dirt, gets a car turn right. Whoa! And Gerald Ferrari just gets past Paul Webber on the way through, and definitely wearing sunglasses after that one, because man oh man, gonna need a drink of note for that. Very, very close happening for the likes of the two drivers. Not quite where you want to go, but Webber really going and losing it out. I mean, let's see if we can try and go back and see where it all went wrong. So, on the brakes, missed it, got the car rotated around, and from the chopper, you can see how close that was on the return. Woo, boy. Definitely a very, very close run there. Gerald Ferrari now dealing with Webber onto the back of him. Webber's going to try and push a little bit hard here, but his tyres are going to feel like absolute snot as they make their way through. You go through the different heat cycles, and I talk about snot in terms of the feeling. It's easiest way is it's very, very grippy at the start, and then it becomes grippy, but then you get this odd slide every so often. It's like a slimy feel on the steering wheel that it just doesn't want to quite, it's there, but it's not there, the grip. It's a slimy feel. It's like driving on a greasy, you go on the highway when it's nice and greasy, go and wet the track, and you have a greasy, all that oil coming up. It does tend to throw you around. It does make things a little bit more of a difficult situation. So, as we see Paul Webber and Gerald Ferrari trying to keep it up with one another, they suddenly onto the back of Jeff Hancock's, and Jeff will be starting to feel the pressure once again, because he thought he ran away from it. This time, not so much, as we do see a bit of a battle coming out towards our top end. Third place, Willem Buerta has caught up to Alex Moore, and Alex Moore is trying to make up some time. He's a little bit back, about 7 seconds off young Ferrari, but now second place is under battle, as we do suddenly see that Moore and Buerta have joined each other up at the top, with Luke Lucchesi right on the tail. So Luke Lucchesi can be a little bit of a linchpin here. It's going to be a very interesting one, because if Willem Buerta gets by, he can actually pull Luke Lucchesi in for a short duration to just put himself in the middle. He will have to give that the position, but it's enough to unnerve. If you can leave that door just a tad open, it will make a world of a difference. So what Luke can do to back up his teammate right now is really keep nice and close. When the pass happens, he can just open up that door. If they can cause a little bit of time loss, that will bring Malcolm Pringle into the fight as well, and Raymond Duggan and Brandon Roberts into the mix of it as well. So an interesting tactic can be used here to put your rival into a bit of a bind. But that's if you want to play as a team. At the moment, it does look like Luke Lucchesi is keeping a very easy pressure onto the back of it. Luke is actually just utilizing this to pull himself up. He's going after Etienne Swart, who is a little bit up the road from him. So this little fight may actually be beneficial for Luke Lucchesi, but they're going to have to really keep it going. A little bit further back, though, we've got to give a little bit of love to those that are chilling at the back. Luka Logovic with a bit of a problem, And Dino, on his debut outing here in the world of RaceFace, is having a great time. Luca up on the inside, though, going to carry a lot of momentum. Hard on the brakes. Dino, leg and bike. Oh, gets a snap over steers. He locks it up on the left. And a burnout to get it going as well. So, Dino, welcome to RaceFace.Pro. Glad to see you, but ouchie, that is not quite where you want to have your car and how you want it to work out. Alex Moore opening up the gap. Suddenly has Willem Buerta doing everything he can. Malcolm Pringle has got Raymond Duggan onto the back of him. Raymond Duggan's now getting past. Brandon Roberts getting past. So Malcolm Pringle losing out 2 positions in one corner. Brandon Roberts looking for the inside line of Raymond Duggan. Couldn't quite get it past. Raymond Duggan has been in the world of iRacing for quite some time. Brandon Roberts goes in for a deep set. Tries to get it past. Now it is going to be all about Duggan to deal with the pass. He's doing everything he can. A very experienced prototype driver dealing with Brandon Roberts, who went charging after the championship for the F4s here in RaceFace.Pro. Great to see drivers hammering it on, really pushing what they can go. Raymond Duggan coming in from the very old world of IRSA, believe it or not, and gone and put in a huge amount of effort. Actually ran in prototype racing there. Did a very, very great job on the way through, and he has done a great job at the moment. Up 4 positions from where he started, but nothing can take away from Brandon Robert. Up 8 positions, and Willem Buerta up 11 positions from where he started. So Willem Buerta has come back from the brink of things at this moment. Only one that's able to rival him is Etienne Swart, up 11 positions. Jeff Hancock's up 10 positions, but take a look at Van Rensburg. He's up 17 positions from where he started. I mean, absolutely wide-eyed on that one. Seriously, well done to our drivers who are on the proper climb. But we're into the last 5 minutes of the race, and it's all or nothing at this point. Willem Buerta doing everything he can, chomping at the heels, but Alex Moore is just going and keeping himself in order. Alex is trying to cut through the back markers as quick as he can, utilizing slipstreams, pulls himself across onto the next one. That is number 15 that he's going to be chasing it down and having to try and get past Etienne Swart. He does go and lose up a lot of time under braking. Not very comfortable through the corner, and Willem Buerta is going to be looking right up his tailpipe here. He's going to be in the slipstream, pulling himself along, as we do see Etienne moving out of the way to allow these drivers to absolutely shoehorn their way past. Alex Moore just getting a little bit more pace, though, onto the back straight. Was just not going and allowing Willem Buerta to get by. Willem tried putting his nose in there and really got close right up against the back of that gearbox to try and get it all done. And now losing out, as we do see Jeff Hancock's going and fighting it out. Jeff Hancock's actually duking it out with Luka Logovic there. So Luka gets the pass done. Malcolm Pringle dropping down the order once again. Suddenly has Van Rensburg getting by. So Malcolm Pringle is on a world of hurt here, as he's falling down the order quicker and quicker. Roland Ferreira losing out to Peter Meyer, who's trying to make his return. Peter Meyer clawing his way past, sends it. Now he's hunting down Noah Hendricks just up the road from him. Noah Hendricks is trying to go after Gerald Ferree, who's a little bit further up the road, and is on to the back of, that looks to be, that might have been actually, that might be Luca Casey that was chasing down Tians Porchita, trying to gain a little bit of ground there as well. As we go back to running orders, Van Rensburg going up on the inside. We do see a very damaged Buerta, who's got a little bit of crunch nose there. Buerta has got a problem, and he has broken the nose. Let's go back and quickly take a look at that, of what happened, because he was fighting out with Alex Moore. This is absolutely detrimental to him. He was on the run. What close up? Oh no, he got taken out by his own teammate. Got clipped and suddenly had Swart go over his nose as well. Oh man, that is just pain. Peter van der Spey also getting involved in a bit of a contact situation. Under braking. Oh man, he's got no front wing and it just snapped underneath him. Oh, the rejoin a little bit of rough there, but he was able to keep it going. Oh no. Buerta, who was fighting it out for second, is now just limping this car back. Pringle, Kutzer, Sean Sims will all be getting word of him that he is under some serious pressure. Jeff Hancock is in the pit, so he's going to fall down the order. But Swart will be looking to close up the gap. Sims right on the back of the likes of Kutzer, doing everything he can to try and say, let's go, go, go. The two Slowpoke Racings are going to pull each other along, and right ahead of them is Malcolm Pringle, who suddenly sees Willem Buerta limping along. Noah Hendricks getting fouled up a little bit there. He's trying to make his way through, and Noah Hendricks just wants to go at this point. He dives up on the inside, gets the pass done. He says, I'm not hanging around this. Let's just get past here. This is not my problem. You can see Malcolm Pringle now trying to make his way up through the order. Kutzer dealing with Sean Sims, who tries to go up for the inside line. And a bit of late braking coming from the back. And I think that is one of the ETA Autosports. Is that SWAT? No, well, that's SWAT onto the back of Hancock's. But it wasn't. That was one of the Autosports. I think that was Ferreira that actually got past Brits in the camera shot. So SWAT, who drove over the nose of a very limping Buerta, trying to chase down Jeff Hancock's, as we do see a little bit of a lockup coming in. Willem Buerta having a bit of a pass there. That was Peter Meyer that lined him up side by side. Malcolm Pringle going to have a go at him. But the two teammates of Sims and Kutzer have suddenly drawn swords on one another. So the two have gone and for a fight to battle it out. Kutzer and Sims, who were originally talking nicely to one another, have just caught up to Malcolm Pringle, and now all three have drawn swords. Malcolm Pringle pulls into the pit, so Sean Sims is going to go out wide, as we do see that was Brits into the dirt. Brits was into the dirt. Kutzer's going to come by as they chase down, but Brits was in the dirt and having to get the car sorted out. Number 20 that is chasing down on our screen is Timothy Stanton in the Red Bull iconic tribute livery to the likes of Honda. But what a run from him. Raymond Duggan all in the chase of Van Rensburg as they chase down 4th and 5th place. I mean, this has been absolutely wild through the order, and drivers having to do everything they can. Malcolm Pringle, who I think got himself caught out in what his fueling is now dropping down out of the top 10. And will be absolutely reeling from that one, as we do say a well done to Johan Furey, taking the checkered flag and going and putting himself to the top spot. Alex Moore, after a huge fight, comes across the line in 2nd place. Well done, Alex. Great job there. Brandon Roberts comes across in 3rd for the Proton Velocity Esports, and chasing down Van Rensburg, finishing in 4th. Ahead of Raymond Duggan of Rad Racing. Chasing him down though, Willem Buerta trying to defend. He's got the 33 on him. He's trying to just get it across the line, and he does so. Willem Buerta with a broken nose gets past the two Slowpoke Racings that drew swords on one another, and that compromised him to try and chase through. Sean Sims and Steven Kutzer come across the line, and Werner Swart, followed by Paul Webber. Leon Vessels will be coming across the line, and Malcolm Pringle will be joining up in that 12th spot. Doug Herber will be in 13th, followed by Luke Lucchese, Jeff Hancock, Etienne Swart, Timothy Stanton, Vano Kursov, Luka Logovic, Dino Machai will be finishing up in 20th. Peter van der Spey, Gerald Ferree, Tiana Sporgita, Noah Hendricks, Peter Meyer, Roland Ferreira, Gareth Brits, Robbie Teens, and Leighton Ferree, who unfortunately got caught out with a bit of contact. Oh boy, wow, what an excitement bit of there, folks, and a bit of IndyCar racing keeps you always on your toes. Gotta say, I love single-seater racing, absolutely adore it, and well, what we got to see there with some incredible racing, some proper side-by-side moments has definitely changed it up, and we will be going and retrieving some of the points for the race as well, because there is going to be a lot to talk about on this run, because we have been building up these points, starting to build up a bit of who ends where at one point. Well, we will be visiting that as we take a look. But that being said, it has been a phenomenal drive from our drivers as we go and dim down the music or dim down the crowd noise just a tad. We have a bit of a heart-to-mouth moment here because, wow, oh wow, has this been a wild ride for everyone, that is for certain. I've got to say for myself, has been an absolute incredible drive. We do have a couple of people to chat to and that we'll be bringing into the commentary box to come and have a chat to them. And one of them will be Leighton Fourie, who I actually can't wait to have a chat to him because it's been a while since Leighton has been on a microphone with us here at RaceFace.Pro, if not, hasn't actually been on the microphone, come to think of it. So let's bring in Leighton Fourie for a quick chat. Leighton Fourie, welcome to the commentary box. Absolutely incredible to have you here, and welcome to the world of RaceFace. But let's talk about the race at hand. Heat 1 was your best race nonetheless, and unfortunately, not your best race for Heat 2. Take us through what happened.
Yeah, first off, good afternoon, Stephen. I mean, the first race was really good for me. The qualifying went spot on. I was quite happy with my lap. Race 1 was clean from the get-go. Obviously, the start was spot on as well. And from there, I just had to manage the race, which we did quite well. The pace in the car was also really, really good. Race 2, I think, some guys got surprised by how cold the tires were on the start. And unfortunately, that just started chaos in front of us. And we just had to try survive, which unfortunately we didn't. I still went out after we got taken out and tried to see what the fastest lap was to maybe try get a point away from Johan. I think I got that at the end. It's unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah, definitely not the race that you wanted, but still some really hard work put into play. Leighton, I mean, the driving out there in these Indy cars, never an easy thing, always a difficult fight to get them across to the top. How did you take to the Indy cars, especially here at Indianapolis? I mean, very fast, very snappy cars. You are very well experienced in a variety of different vehicles, even now going and representing South Africa over in tin top racing. But single-seaters and you have always had a very interesting history in past.
That was well said. I mean, the Indy cars they're a bit heavier than F1 cars, a bit less aero as well. So I find it more to the driver, and it's a lot more skill-based to the driver. A very tricky cars to drive, but to be quick in one of these things is satisfying yet very difficult. My past in real life racing obviously has been touring cars mostly. I don't think I've ever actually done a lap in a single seater. I think the closest thing I've done is an LMP3 when we won a Kyalami 9-hour a year ago. These cars are very tricky things to drive. We see them in real life as well. A lot of drivers make mistakes in real life with these things, and that's where the drivers that make the least amounts of mistakes usually succeed in these cars. But they're excellent to drive, and I enjoy every lap of it.
Well, Leighton, we're looking forward to seeing you back in for some more racing and charging your way to the top. It's always a grand thing having you around. Not quite the night that you wanted, but it's the night that you got. Anything you'd like to say to our amazing petrol heads that have been watching all night and could be watching in the future, but also to all our partners here at RaceFace.Pro?
No, just a big thank you to the organization for organizing it and the people watching out there. It's great to have a crowd, watching us doing our thing and having some fun. And it's great to be here back at home on the sim and just getting laps done, whether it's in anything really, and having fun with the South African guys. So just a big thank you to everyone for organizing it. And I'll be back soon, I'm sure.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Leighton Fourie, everybody, give him a round of applause. Thank you very much for joining us, Leighton. Absolute honor.
Thank you.
Having you in the field. Well, absolutely tremendous stuff. Let's bring in Willem Botha to come and have a chat to us. Willem Botha. Well, Willem, welcome. Glad to have you here. What a run it has been. Let's take it through. You've had some really close racing. Unfortunately, we've got to talk about what happened in Heat 2 because many people will be asking what on earth happened at Heat 2 because you were going all fine and then all of a sudden your teammate was the cause for the spin.
Yeah, like I said, I pushed a lot when I started 14th, pushed very hard in the beginning. The tires didn't change. Caught up to the front runners, and Luke was behind me. He had to save fuel, so he reckoned, okay, he's just going to stay behind me, and I'll help him save fuel at least a little bit. And then, I just went a little bit wide, tried to scrub off speed, and he didn't notice that I'm cutting back in, and I I just got a bit incident points from behind there.
Well, let's put that aside, the fight for you, because in race 1 and in race 2, you were in a fight for your life out there. I mean, it was right on top of it. Your noses were close. We actually had a beautiful aerial shot that actually saw your nose literally underneath the gearbox of your competitor. Take us through that adrenaline rush for 30 minutes.
Look, I was sweating. Felt like I ran the marathon. Seriously, I was sweating, with the aircon and everything on. And yeah, you had to concentrate so hard because you just locked the brakes and you're into the competitor in the front. So you had to time your braking to the max to be able to get your corner speed and gain on the oaks. You know, the cars, as soon as you start running out of the push to passes, you have to try and push where you can through the corners to try and keep up the corner speed.
Oh, absolutely incredible stuff. I mean, you were properly on it there. But coming in, Willem, you've been at the top of the charts with Tin Top Racing here at RaceFace once before. Now switching it up into the Indy cars, which is a lot quicker than what we've had in the past. What's your thoughts on it?
Look, it's a really difficult car to drive fast and constantly fast as well. So it takes a lot of practice and a lot of concentration. And it's not forgiving. I mean, if you make an accident, you off onto the dirt, you crash. So it's not like a tin top where you can drive onto the dirt and keep it running back onto the track easy. So it's very difficult to drive this car.
Oh, absolutely incredible on the side, though. Willem, you did a fantastic job out there, and you got it across the line ahead of the 2 slowpoke racing cars with a broken nose, a little bit clogged up on the way through. But Willem, anything you would like to say to all the amazing petrol heads out there that were cheering you on, and all our amazing sponsors jumping on board, being a part of the racing for not only the IndyCar for its season 1, but for the season 2 of our iRacing GT3 Championship?
I just want to say thanks to all the organizers, you and Doe, and thanks to all the guys cheering us on. Listen, the series is going to be good and the series is going to be tight. There's a lot of fast oaks. You're not just going to run away with the championship. A lot of stuff is going to happen. Slow markers, fast oaks going to crash. The series is starting now. It's going to be fun. Well,
thank you very much, Willem Buerter, and absolutely an honor to talk to you once again. I can't wait till you and I have a sit down and chat because I'd love to dig into a little bit of your past. But Willem, we're going to say farewell to you. Well done on the racing, nonetheless, and have a great one.
Cool, man. Thanks a lot. Cheers, eh?
Willem Buerter giving us some insight of the racing. So we got a couple of people to bring up that are around. We've got Malcolm Pringle to actually bring through. And, we could talk about what happened to him. Malcolm Pringle, welcome to the commentary box. And, buddy, you've got a bit of explaining to do, because all of a sudden you were in it, and pitted right at the last, landing up dropping about 4 or 5 positions. Malcolm Pringle? I think I scared him. Quite possibly. The fallen silence tells me pretty much everything. So Malcolm Pringle seems to be rather busy at the moment. So we'll leave it there. But well done, Malcolm. Great racing nonetheless. You had a good time out there, finishing up in 12th in Heat 2, going and fighting out for the Slowpoke Racing. And we look forward to seeing what you can do a little bit later on. Oh, we didn't get to have a chat with Malcolm Pringle, but we'll try and chat with another. Let's go and chat with Van Rensburg. Jan van Rensburg, well done. What a race out there. And managing to get 4th place on the last run, going and challenging out your teammates. But man, oh man, well, what an exciting run it was for you.
Hey, Steve. So I'm not sure if some of the guys ahead of me were Pro-Am or not, because everybody was blooming quick. The first race was definitely a better race pace-wise. Unfortunately, though, the nut behind the wheel definitely was the letdown, and I pinned it as I came out the pits. But yeah, this was a fun one. It definitely came together in the end.
Well, taking a look at the cars ahead of you, though, the Pro-Am, Alex Moore, Brandon Robert, Willem Buerter, Sean Sims, Stephen Kutzer, Werner Swart, Paul Webber, Leon Vessels, Malcolm Pringle, all into a proper run. But for you, and we're sitting a little bit further up, you actually got second in the Pro class. So, I mean, that is just saying nonetheless. So we've got actually a special little picture to bring up for those that came in second. But for Mr. van Rensburg, we got to talk about the race at hand. How was it out there? I mean, you come in from tin top racing. Your experience is a lot of tin top, a lot of oval, dealing with these top cars. Now you're in one of the quickest single-seaters known out on track. How's you feeling out there?
Normally I'd say I don't really. My driving style doesn't fit well with single seaters. As a matter of fact, in oval track you either brake or you don't. So when I saw videos and guys talk about trail braking, I was like, what the heck is this? And only in the last, I'd say 2 or 3 years, I learned about that. I've definitely improved my skill, and I think the IndyCar is a great car to learn if you've got some experience. You don't just hop into it and try and learn a new car, but if you've got some experience, it's a great car to learn in. Nevertheless, coming from tin tops, it is still a learning curve, and having raced the GT3 last week at Indianapolis and then racing the GTPs with the endurance here and jumping to a third different car, it did mess me around, and I had 1 or 2 screw-ups where I misjudged my braking markers.
Oh, absolutely incredible stuff. You still managed to stick it out on track. You still managed to push your way to the front, and gotta say, some very, very close racing. But how was it out there suddenly getting swamped in a huge amount of battles? I mean, you were very, very few times sitting by yourself, gaining ground, losing ground, and even having your own teammates going and fouling you up through the corners. And also being on different strategies, because it looks like the whole team was on different strategies with their tires. How was that? Myself being a very competitive person by nature, you don't ever show your hand. So the guys were already starting last night discussing strategies, and I just said, I'll see what other people are doing. But I had kind of planned a strategy, but with racing, you can never plan too far ahead. Anyway, so at the end of the day, at the person that's got the best pace, they will be the top slowpoke. In the big opening stages, Leon actually had very good pace, and I couldn't just ask him to let me by. I had to actually race him for the position, and one was close enough, he let me by. But yeah, the team tactics definitely helped. We could all communicate when there were spinners or off tracks, etc. And obviously that aided the team a good result. Oh, great stuff, though. Well, for everyone out there, because there's been lots and lots of chatter out in the virtual grandstand, Mr. van Rensburg, I'm going to leave the floor to you to address our fantastic sponsors that join up with us, and also all our amazing petrol heads that cheer us on week in and week out.
All right, so first off, obviously to the team at RaceFace for bringing the party to iRacing, and really what they've done in a short space of time, they've really done something great, and that goes to you as well, Stephen. So I thank you for that. The production is just getting better and better with every race. Having sponsors on board with the virtual racing is absolutely awesome, and the competitors as well. Obviously, we do rub shoulders and we don't always agree off track or on track, but it's great, and we all laugh about it eventually. So thanks to everybody involved, and also to the team. We're really having fun this time around, more so than last year, and we're hoping to get some good results, at least in Pro-Am.
Well, a bit in Pro-Am, a bit in Pro, a bit of everywhere that goes. Well, it's absolutely an honor to have a chat to you, and we look forward to chatting to you very, very soon. Once again, Mr. van Rensburg.
Yes, thanks, man.
Great stuff, I gotta say. But this does bring us to the end of the broadcast, because it has been a wild one. And before I leave you all to the exciting times, well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've got lots to show up here. So let's take a look at our current standing in the points. So, firstly, looking at our pros, Jan Faree walking away with 144 points. Raymond Duggan getting 118 right at the end. Leighton Faree in third place. Followed by Doug Herber, Jean Jans van Rensburg, along with Noah Hendricks in 6th, 7th, Luke Lucchese, Luca Logovic, Jeff Hancock, Peter Meyer, Timothy Stanton, and Gerald Faree in 12th place in the championship, walking out of this. Remember, this is a provisional. It can change for the next race in 2 weeks' time. And taking a look at our Pro-Am standings, well, it's Alex Moore ahead of Brandon Roberts, Stephen Kutzer in 2nd place, Sean Sims running in 3rd, Malcolm Briggle in 4th, along with Willem Buerta, Werner Swart, Paul Weber, Leon Vessels, Robbie Teens, Roland Ferreira, Etienne Swart, Vanon Kursop, Gareth Britz, Peter Meyer, and Dino Machar going and running a little bit down in 16th, and 17th is Tianas Porkita. Speaking about Dino, though, he has been very, very patiently waiting, and I think we'll just give him his chance to have a chat with us. Coming up to the commentary box, Dino, welcome. Glad to have you here. Not quite the race that you expected to have in Heat 1 and Heat 2, but still managing to walk away with 64 points on the cards is no ditch effort at all.
I think it's more than anything else. I had a horrible race. I think I had a bad start, and that's how it goes.
Well, you still put in a lot of hard work out there. You're a new name to the grid. How was going and seeing some of the big names that you've seen in motorsport lurking around, and also some of the new sim racing names that I don't think you've experienced some of our drivers out there on the track?
Actually, it's my first time ever racing here. So, well, actually, first time ever racing on the sim. So, I have to admit, it's been quite exciting. I've had quite a bit of fun here, and definitely would tell people to invest and enjoy this. It's quite a draw.
Okay, well, very first time and racing. Well, congratulations, Dino. Welcome to RaceFace.Pro, and I'm glad that we were, well, breaking that cherry for you, if one could say. But absolutely incredible stuff. So, Dino, have you done sim racing at all in the past, or is this the brand spanking new for you?
This is the brand spanking new. As you said, I broke my cherry today.
Wow. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is a very first here in RaceFace, might I add, that we've had someone for the very first time coming out and racing with us. And Dino, thank you so much for picking RaceFace as the first to come racing. And I look forward to seeing you racing more often with us. And I'm going to say it here and now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, take my words for this. My name is Stephen Koenig, and you can go and hold my name to it. Expect to see our new champion coming up through the ranks in the coming races, Dino Moichai. Am I right by saying it's Moichai?
It's close enough. Close enough.
Okay,
I have a good luck with it. It's actually Malmstay, but it's
how do I say it?
Malmstay.
Mile Shea.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm alright with the way you're saying it. I have a good lob, so.
All right,
there's
well, I'm going to try and get it right. Try and get it right. I've been known to get surnames wrong badly, so I'm going to do this. But I think since it is your first time and no one got to use the graphics, so for first place of his first drive is our first place rookie goes to Dino. So we're going to put a nice little thing on the screen there. Dino, you're the first place rookie for us and the first place to all our hearts. Thank you so much. The floor is yours to address our amazing sponsors and also our amazing going and petrol heads that are shouting out and cheering on from the distance. And ladies and gentlemen, I see you out in the virtual grandstand. Give a round of applause for Dino, because what an absolute phenomenal person to keep sticking it out and racing with us. I look forward to seeing a lot of chats, a lot of flames, a lot of everything of guys showing some excitement towards a brand new rookie. But Dino, the floor is yours to address our amazing petrol heads and partners.
Oh, well, thank you very much for the partners coming through. This event is definitely exciting, and I can see this is going to be growing from strength to strength. And hopefully we get more and more viewers that come and support this and join this group as well.
It's going to be an incredible one. Thank you very much, Dino, and I hope to see you again for some plenty more racing coming up.
Brilliant. Cheers.
Well, there we go. plenty of firsts, plenty of done, but ladies and gentlemen, it does plenty of all as we say goodbye to Indianapolis for our RaceFace.Pro IndyCar Sprint Series Season 1 for Round 1. And it has been a great stuff, but we're going to be looking forward to some more racing. On Thursday, we have got some racing coming up on the ACC, a bit of a fun series due to our off-season after having that PokerBet 250,000 Rand cash and PokerBet credits handed out to our ACC drivers. We are going to be taking a 4-week break, but having fun races in between. This week, we're having the Mustangs race, so you're more than welcome to have a bit of fun with that. Join up on Simgrid down in the link below. If you want to have some fun here in the world of RaceFace.Pro for single-seaters and for GTs, definitely go and take a look at us on Simgrid. Follow us on Simgrid to keep up to date with all the different events because we build up to the 28th of September where we will have the Mid-Grand 570 in works with the likes of Logistical Nightmare Racing. That is a 9-hour and 20 minutes race on ACC. Plus, we still have a lot coming on, and there is, for those that are busy looking on the sideline, you know who you are, a slight confirmation that we are going to be running an endurance race later this year here at RaceFace on iRacing. Just saying, putting my hands up. It has been tentatively confirmed. Only way you're going to find out is keep an eye on all our social media and also by going and following us out on the world with Simgrid and our social media. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from myself, Stephen Koenig, it's been an honor being on air with you guys, and I look forward to seeing plenty more races coming up in the future. Next week, though, we're going to be rejoining for round 2 of our GT3 Sprint Series here on iRacing, here at RaceFace.Pro, so don't go anywhere. It's going wild. It's going crazy. We got 2 heats also happening then. Great new formats that have been in play. But like always, we're going to always say a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. With all the amazing racing that comes to you weekly, we have to give acknowledgement to our sponsors. Without them, this would not be possible here at RaceFace.Pro. So starting off with our first sponsor, let's go and take your hats off to PokerBet. For all the tournaments, for all the cash games, daily free rolls, and sports betting, there's no better place to be and win with PokerBet. With it all revved up and you're looking for high speed, whether you're into drag, drift, or even long circuit, Red Star Raceway has got you covered. As we take a look off to all our machinery needs, head over to Oddendorf Machinery Mart. Remember to keep it slick with SA Lube, 20 years of Castrol distribution. Sliding in to keep you on your toes, Scallywags Drift Academy will keep you right at the top of the pack. And if you're looking for all your streaming needs, head over to Tenvo Tech for all the overlays. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been an honor having you. We'll see you next time right here from the THT Productions.